In today's video, we will talk all about airdrops. So you guys most likely have been following what's happening on Solana and the whole airdrop craze happening on Solana. But I want to give you guys my opinion on this because just very straightforward. I think the Solana ecosystem airdrops are kind of towards its late stages. Most of the projects are very much popular and everyone is already flooding in, and they're either launching at a super high valuation or the airdrops might be too late. So in this video, I want to give you some of the news coming up towards early 2024 that will bring some other ecosystem airdrops back into the limelight. And I want to give you also my top 5 picks that you can also still participate and get a real reward, very decent chance to get them in early 2024. So I'll give you all my reasons today in this video. Okay, welcome everyone. If you're new here to the channel, my name is Dennis. I'm a crypto angel investor for the past 5 years, and I have invested in over 100 crypto companies. Here on this channel, I share my views on market trends and investing strategy to build wealth in crypto. Okay, so let me give you guys my stance on everything. So we have covered a ton of airdrops back in the days if you just go on our channel. So towards February 2022 was when we did the most airdrop videos, right? So you see in the first wave of airdrop hype, we covered things like zkSync, StarkNet, LayerZero, Sui, Arbitrum, Aptos. Those were the main ones. Now, today, the stage for airdrop is actually very different because when we first covered those airdrop videos and those projects, they were in the testnet stages, which means most people could try to qualify because the testnet is essentially a free version of the blockchain used for testing. There's no real money involved. So the transactions were all free. The upside of this, the good advantage of this is that anyone can get in and they don't need to spend any money. But the downside is it's very easy to get botted. It's very easy to game the system. So if you're savvy enough, you could sign up 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 accounts, have them all join the Discord, try out the testnet, and then you would, if they cannot detect you, you would get the airdrops way more than other people. So this is why the testnet airdrops, the early ones were good. Things like Sui, Aptos, they still gave decent rewards for testnet. However, later on for the more established projects, for example, for Arbitrum, right, which airdropped in 2022, it wasn't that good anymore because Arbitrum realized, okay, we cannot let all these people ruin our testnet and just game the airdrop. So we're going to launch our mainnet first. And then our main criteria for eligibility for the airdrop is to have real money transactions take up the majority of the criteria. And you see here, right? You need to bridge real money to the Arbitrum mainnet. You have to do multiple transactions again with real money. You have to, depending on how frequently you're actually using the network, and you also have like transaction volume, et cetera, et cetera. So this is the big difference of this new wave of airdrops and how you should be thinking about them. Gone are the days where we're targeting purely free airdrops. So depending on how you look at this, if you really don't have much money to play around with, I think as long as you can shell out like $50 to handle the bridge function and a couple swaps for one time, it's still very worth it because this completely eliminates all of the bad actors that don't want to spend money, right? So overall, this is the main criteria that makes airdrops, choosing airdrops super important because we want to target in today's list the projects that are live on mainnet, and you need to deploy some bit of money in order to qualify. Okay, that's number one. So without further ado, let's get into the actual projects for today. So the first project that I want to show you guys is called Linea. So Linea is a zk EVM developed by Consensus, which is the team behind MetaMask, behind Infura, and it's Consensus founder is actually one of the co-founders of Ethereum, Joseph Lubin. And The whole company itself around Consensus has been valued at $7 billion. Now that includes multiple product lines, including their Linea Layer 2 and the MetaMask wallet. These are all under the same parent company. This is super respected, one of the top firms in the space. Now, the Linea Layer 2 is actually live on mainnet today. So you can go on DeFi Llama, and then you can go on chains. And when you see all the chains down here, you see Linea. Where's Linea? Let's do L2 Beat. Yeah. So you see Linea is number 8, and it has $157 million of real money locked on there. So this means there's no like testnet weird stuff that you can game. If you want to qualify for this airdrop, you at least have to put a little bit of money in. It's super established. There's very minimal risk to for this to go down or anything, but you cannot game this very easily, which means they'll have real users, and this is actually really good for our audience that want to qualify for like a single airdrop instead of farming with 100 wallets. Okay, now the reason why I say Linea is also really good right now is because they have a live program that's official called the Linea DeFi Voyage. So this is a program you see they have tweeted about before, where every week that has been running, there will be live tasks that you have to complete on their DeFi Voyage. So I have linked the whole page for this DeFi Voyage website in our description. Make sure to check that out. Long story short, this is a very easy onboarding place to not only get you started using the Linea Layer 2, but also it helps you basically set up the entire like DeFi tutorial, so to speak, DeFi functionalities. So if you're completely new, you can still do this. So let's just look at this really quick, right? So this whole program started November 7th, and it will last until December 16th. So there's still about a week and a half of time you can get these experience points to complete these tasks. But fear not, I'm pretty sure, everyone should do all of these transactions, because these are basically the main transactions you want to do for any layer 2 in order to qualify for their airdrop. So let's see, right? So for example, when you're doing this, step 1 is to go on MetaMask. Well, step 1 is to use the link, go to this website, and then here it will tell you to enter your Linea address by connecting your wallet. And then you can get started with the campaigns. So number 1, right, is setting it up with MetaMask, right? You see here, there are the core tasks. Bridge at least $20 using MetaMask portfolio to Linea. You see how this is designed, right? So it teaches you that even though there are other bridges out there, this program specifically guides you through, okay, we want to bridge to Linea, but we want to use the MetaMask portfolio to do it, use the bridge there, because again, Linea and MetaMask are under the same umbrella brand of Consensus. So this increases your chances to get the airdrop. Okay, so that's the steps here. So for example, number 1 is MetaMask. Number 2, it will tell you to use the bridges, right? So you see here, bridge at least $25 worth of Ethereum from another network to Linea on any other listed partner dApp. And then after that, right, it will tell you to use basic swap functionality. Most likely this is using MetaMask token swap directly. Any supported DEX. Okay, so it will tell you to use any supported decentralized exchange. It will tell you to do these bonus tasks. Let's see. Use an aggregator. So these are things like 1inch, Matcha, PairSwap, etc. So it basically guides you through all the steps that you need to do in a DeFi perspective to qualify for this airdrop. You see there's lending, borrowing, providing liquidity and yield farming, and also more advanced trading as well. So this program still has about 10 days left. By far, the easiest and highest chance for you to get the Linea airdrop right now is to go check this out, do these tasks, and like I said, right, the timing is all there. This is mainnet, which means it's very hard to game this system. You have to spend real money, but for real users that connect their wallets, connect their socials, very easy to onboard. So this is the number one project that I'm doing airdrops for right now. And just last little bit, right? So for you to check out like Consensus socials here, you see all their product lines here. They have MetaMask, they have Linea, and they have Infura. So all three of these projects have high speculation of getting an airdrop. Now, I'm not sure if there will be like 3 tokens, 2 tokens, 1 token for all. No idea, but most likely there will be a token for their ecosystem. So that's the only public information we know. Okay, so that's for Linea. Check it out with the link in the description. So moving on from Linea, the next project, very similar, is going to be zkSync. So zkSync is another zk EVM, zk rollup layer 2 that is already live on mainnet but doesn't have a token yet. So again, you can go on L2Beat, look at the total value locked. You see zkSync era is even bigger. It's at $600 million total value locked, which means these are all real money on the layer 2 being deployed using DeFi, etc. And you most likely have heard of this already. You can start using zkSync already today using MetaMask. Now, back in the days, we have made a airdrop video for zkSync. So when you go all the way back to our zkSync airdrop right here, but I want to give you guys a full disclaimer. This needs updating because this zkSync airdrop video, when I made it, it was on the testnet stage. This was before their mainnet came out. So now, if you're trying to qualify for the zkSync airdrop, these steps are no longer relevant. You really have to switch for every task. You have to switch to the mainnet transactions. Make sure you're using mainnet money, real money. Okay, so let me just give you really quick the top 2 things you need to do that pretty much is guaranteed to get you qualified, right? So I'm not saying, okay, like I don't know what the snapshot would be. So that's the only caveat I have to give you guys. If the snapshot is completely over, then these things will not give you tokens, but I think the window is still there. So I'm still actively participating in zkSync today. So 2 things you need to do, right? 2 smallest things. Number 1 is to go on zkSync website, and then you see this explore page. Go to bridges and wallets. And here you want to use the main bridge, the official bridge called zkSync. So native bridge and user-friendly interface to view and interact with your assets on zkSync and zkSync Lite. So click on this. It will bring you to this page. You want to connect your wallet, right? Just using MetaMask. And then you want to deposit Ethereum from Ethereum mainnet to zkSync. Do this for both the zkSync era mainnet and the zkSync Lite mainnet. This is the number 1 thing. Because, right, this bridge is officially made by the zkSync team. So it has way higher chances than every other project out there, right? No matter what you use, this is the main one. You see, it's even officially recommended here. This is number 1. Number 2, very interesting project coming up, actually. It's called GRVT. So this is a upcoming perpetual decentralized exchange exclusively built for zkSync. Think of it like the GMX or Vertex for Arbitrum when Arbitrum first had their airdrop. So this one is officially backed by zkSync. And you can see on their Twitter here, this is powered by zkSync and building its zkSync's first hyperchain. So the hyperchain is zkSync's protocol for app chains, essentially building a layer 3 on top of their layer 2. And GRVT is, I think, the only app chain that's currently like being deployed on zkSync, the first one there. They're also, I believe, the first project to officially receive funding from Matter Labs, the parent company of zkSync. So they have a very, very close relationship together. And last but not least, when you look at their campaign, so this just went live 2 days ago, where they have an invite-only wait list. So I'm in the process of getting set up in this invite program. So subscribe to the channel, join, follow me on Twitter, and join our Discord. That's the places where I'll be sharing our invite codes for this. But what's most important here is you see, other than just like having an early reward program where you can get the GRVT token, they are also giving a official zkSync mystery box. So you see on this website here, you get the GRVT airdrop and you also get the zkSync mystery airdrop. Now, I am pretty certain this is going to be like a zkSync related token airdrop. And it even has the co-branding of it, right? So I really don't think they're going to give you some like random NFT to go with this. That would be hugely misleading and piss a lot of people off. So I think this is, I haven't seen this done anywhere before for zkSync. So I think their partnership really shows here, right? By trading, by signing up to this exchange, right? Going, using their referral code and going and trading on their perpetual exchanges, which is going to go live soon. You will be able to get not only the GRVT token, but also the zkSync token. How much of it, I don't know, but that's about as good as it goes for a like almost certain eligibility to get the airdrop, right? And because this is relatively new project that just got announced, this also makes me feel like the zkSync airdrop snapshot hasn't been taken yet. Because if they have already taken the snapshot before, how do they do this mystery airdrop, mystery box later on? So that's why I think zkSync still has a very high chance to get the airdrop today. And that's why I would do these two things specifically if you just want to. Number one, use the official bridge. Number two, sign up to this GRVT invite-only waitlist. Follow me on this, join our Discord. I'm going to drop our referral links. And the timeline for this, you can find on their blog as well. So this is the stage we're in right now from December 7th to their mainnet launch. There will be a limited waitlist invite points where once you are signed up, you can also invite other people. And this will give you more and more points, which will give you higher and higher rewards. Okay. Yeah, so that's really cool. I haven't seen this done by anyone in the zkSync ecosystem. So this is definitely very, very high chance. Okay, so that's for zkSync. And if you guys want a more in-depth video on zkSync, remember, I'm going to drop a full tutorial for all of the airdrops we mentioned today on the channel quite soon. So subscribe to the channel to not miss it for the full tutorials with much more like detailed step-by-step points. Okay, that's number two project for top airdrops next year. And then number three is going to be, where is it? Number three is, I'm losing it here. Number three is going to be LayerZero. So LayerZero, we have mentioned this project many, many times. It's the main competitor to Chainlink CCIP. It's the top two cross-chain interoperability protocol for you to not only bridge tokens between chains, but also do cross-chain decentralized applications, right? Your app can perform certain parts on Ethereum, certain parts on Avalanche, on other chains altogether. Now, there has been high speculation around zkSync airdrop for a very long time. Because it's one of the most established projects, they raised a ton of money, works really well as well. This is a very strong protocol by itself, but because in the early days of LayerZero, they actually released a bridge token first called the Stargate Finance STG token, right? So when you go on this page, you see this is just a bridge by itself, right? Where you can transfer tokens between two different chains. However, this project is officially built by the zkSync, by the LayerZero team. So a lot of people said, okay, maybe LayerZero will never have an airdrop. When will we get a confirmation, right? Is it just going to be the Stargate token? Maybe it has a rebrand. So the timing now is really good because 2 days ago, LayerZero Labs officially came out and clarified this. So LayerZero has always been built with the ability to have a native token within the protocol, as can be seen in the immutable code launched on day one. We've heard a community discussion over the last few months and the lack of clear communication around this. We will state now in no uncertain terms that there will be a LayerZero token. Its distribution is something we're committed to getting right and expected to happen within the first half of 2024. So this is actually big news, right? Now it's official. there will be a new token coming from LayerZero, probably ZROs or some other token name. And it's really worth getting this airdrop now, right? And also keep in mind, because they just announced this, right? If they say now that, okay, like we have taken the snapshot before we made this announcement, that would piss a lot of people off, right? They should have said so if the snapshot has already been taken, which means I think most likely this is a kind of a sign to tell their community that go ahead and use LayerZero today. As long as you are like doing so relatively soon after this announcement, you should be able to get the airdrop. This is what this announcement tells me. So this is honestly going to bring a lot of hype to LayerZero again. And I think you should be doing LayerZero transactions now. So in terms of what you actually need to do, our first guide for LayerZero is still relevant. You can check this video here, how to qualify for LayerZero airdrop. Now, because this was already on mainnet, this is why this is still relevant. So the two main things, number one is to use the Stargate Finance bridge, right? So go on stargates.finance and just bridge from Ethereum to Arbitrum or something, right? Use this bridge because it's official. And number two, you can try to buy some Stargate token and stake it. And you can do so with the staking tab on Stargate Finance. And once you stake, you can also vote on their governance forum. I think this will be decently good chance to be included. And last but not least, after this announcement from LayerZero here, right? I think there is a potential trade opportunity for Stargate as well. Because think about it, right? LayerZero token, based on their funding rounds, will be valued in the $1 to, I would say, $4 billion range. I think their latest funding round was like $2 billion. But judging by how hyped up the market is for new airdrops and how high tier this is, I think it will launch at like $3-4 billion easy. So when you consider that, and you consider the fact that the Stargate token will be involved in some way, whether that's you buying the Stargate token and staking, or if some form of airdrop will be directly given to the Stargate token, or even a very unlikely scenario is that the Stargate token maybe gets converted to LayerZero token. We don't know. So I think there is a decently good trade opportunity here from now until the first half of 2024, where the Stargate token will see some hype, right? As this airdrop hype starts to build up. So that's a bit of alpha, not exactly airdrop related there, but I think Stargate token relatively undervalued right now, to be honest. Okay, so that's on Stargate. Again, full guide coming up soon once I have done the full research if there are any new steps. Okay, next up, we have done 3 of these. Yeah, 2 more projects left. So the next project for airdrop is going to be Wormhole. So Wormhole is the official bridge, again, another bridge project, but this is also a very big bridge because this is the main bridge and one of the earliest bridges for Solana. And they have just recently announced their fundraise of $225 million, valuing them at $2.5 billion. And one other thing to remember is that the Wormhole project is actually made by Jump Trading, which is one of the biggest backers in the Solana ecosystem. So the reason why I think Wormhole is one of the only Solana airdrop projects to still target today is because they just announced their funding and they just started to push their marketing again, right? So when you look on their Wormhole social media, there's Twitter or X here. They just started to integrate with every major, Solana ecosystem project, which means like I think most likely the snapshot has not been taken because, right, if they suddenly announce this, but then they say, oh, our snapshot has already been taken like 6 months ago, again, that will piss people off, right? This is in kind of stark contrast to the current wave of Solana hype, airdrop projects, for example, like Jito, Pith, Jupiter is pretty much already released now. These things are way less likely to be qualified now if you're just learning about them versus this one, Wormhole. I think the chances are much higher. And I don't think this Wormhole token will be launched that soon in this current Solana wave. And because they are already valued at 2.5 billion, and this is honestly a much more higher tier project than most of the DeFi projects in Solana. So I think this one still quite decent chance for it to qualify. Now, how many steps? There's only one step that you need to do to give you guys like decent chance to qualify, and that is using the Portal token bridge. So the Portal bridge, you can check it out with the link in the description or using portalbridge.com. This is the main bridge built by the Wormhole team, and for the longest time, right, since Solana has existed, this has been the main bridge going between Solana to other ecosystems, right? So you can connect. You see here the main bridges that this functions for is for Solana ecosystem, but you can also do it for Aptos Sui and of course for Ethereum. So use this bridge, and I would say that is if you only have like 2-3 minutes, that is the most important step you need to do for this. Now, again, stay tuned on our channel because I will give a full in-depth tutorial really soon about all the steps you need to do on Portal Bridge, and also the other ecosystem projects built on top of Wormhole and which ones you should do step by step in order to maximize your chances to qualify. But the best thing you can do right now is just to bridge once using Portal Bridge. Okay. That's Wormhole. And the last project I wanted to cover here is called Scroll. So Scroll is another layer 2 for Ethereum. And this is also a zkEVM layer 2 for Ethereum. Now, the advantage of Scroll is that they are much more natively compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine, with the Ethereum technology stack, which makes it much easier to migrate. So comparing Scroll to zkSync to Polygon zkEVM today, it's a little bit easier to migrate because you have to change less of the smart contract code and your infrastructure. So it's much easier to deploy to Scroll. Now, the Scroll mainnet has also been live since October 17th, as you can see here, which also gives it much higher chance to qualify, right? To filter out the bots. Because again, for real participants like us, we know that using Scroll mainnet, we have to put in a little bit of money for the bridge, for the mainnet transactions. So that's much higher chance for us versus the botters, the farmers. And something very interesting for Scroll is that since their mainnet launch on October 17th, they have had this Scroll Origins NFT program. This is actually, you see, it started on October 10th, lasts until literally today. So this program, what's interesting about it is that it's targeted at developers. So you see here, to celebrate the builders who are with us at the very moment since they launched, they gave the Scroll Origins NFT to developers who were deploying a smart contract to Scroll within this period, right? So if you are a developer, obviously you can still go ahead and try to do this today in the next 6 hours. It will be quite easy, right? You can use a boilerplate and deploy to the Scroll mainnet. But I think what's much more interesting here is that once this like developer stage of the program is done, two things that tells me. Number one is that after that, it's going to be a user-based stage where they will incentivize more like things like the DeFi voyage type of stuff, where people can come in, they can start to perform transactions on these early deployed smart contracts and decentralized applications. So this is, once this developer period ends, they will start a few months of onboarding users. And which means most likely the snapshot for the Scroll airdrop has not been taken yet, right? So before you have the developers and the programs, you cannot have users come in, right? So this is stage by stage, which tells me from now until maybe like 1.5, 2 months from now, is going to be the perfect time to bridge to scroll and start using applications as they are ready now in order to qualify for the airdrop, which will probably come in like 1 to 2 months at least, maybe longer. Okay, so that's why I think scroll is really good for qualification right now. And in terms of best things you can do right now, by far, number one is just to use the official bridge, right? So you can do that by going to scroll.io, the official website. And you see here, top right, click on bridge and just deposit from Ethereum to scroll today. Very simple, right? This is the number one thing you can do today, 2 minutes time. Now, after this scroll developer program finishes, there will be probably a new program coming up where they highlight some of the top deployed ecosystem projects in a similar type of page. And then once that is out, I will give you guys kind of an updated video for the top ecosystem projects you should go try, perform transactions in order to, increase your chances and get higher rewards. So look out for that video, full tutorial on the channel soon. Okay, so that's number 5 project, Scroll, that is really good that you can try out today. Most likely you will get an airdrop for. Okay, so that's top 5 that I think you need to try today. You will most likely get airdrop. Now, I want to give you guys a couple more honorable mentions as well that you can start to try soon, or maybe the project is very hyped up, but I think the airdrops might not be available anymore. So I'll also mention them. So the first one is called DOP, or Data Ownership Protocol. I have covered this project a few times on the channel. It's a data ownership protocol where you can send tokens to this protocol, and you can essentially preserve privacy for all your transactions without having to go through like a very complicated process. So it's more about conserving your own data and having control of who can see your transaction history versus a more like less regulatory friendly kind of environment. So their testnet you can try out really soon. I believe this is coming in within 1 week. And you can try this testnet really soon by going to dop.org. And I have talked with the team before. They will have a guaranteed, you can call it airdrop, call it reward, but it will be a guaranteed like token reward that you can receive by just trying their testnet. So usually when you have this like guaranteed reward, the rewards will not be as high as a speculative airdrop, but the chances are like 99% chance. So that's why I put it in honorable mentions. If you have some time, it's really worth checking it out, paying attention to their socials, and trying their testnet when it comes out, because it's essentially like guaranteed free money. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one is called obviously StarkNet. So StarkNet, one of the most hyped up airdrops in 2022. We have already covered StarkNet in depth in a full review and also an airdrop video. However, more recently, they have had a full range of like airdrop leaks coming from them. So there was this screenshot that was leaked where it said, okay, people can do these things and qualify for the airdrop. However, you see here, there's kind of a snapshot that was that says here June 1st, 2022. And you see right after that, StarkNet came out and said that the Stark token is confirmed to be coming, as noted in announcement 1 year ago. However, the screenshot containing the draft plans is still under development, and the cutoff for any criteria used to determine who may receive tokens or how many tokens is in the past, and no actions or activity now can impact eligibility in any way. So this is kind of sad. Basically, they are making sure, right, confirming with everyone that the snapshot has already been taken. If you are still trying to qualify for the airdrop today, you won't get it. So this is why, I think A lot of people are still excited for StarkNet, but if you did the transactions when we first covered it last year, in like February, March-ish, you most likely would have been okay. But today, it's no longer possible to qualify for this. Now, fear not, right? Their token will be released like relatively soon. So they have posted more details about this as well. They plan to allocate 1.8 billion Stark tokens to their ecosystem. And this is, I believe, more updates for this. And probably like, yeah, you see, deployment in Q1 2024, right? So the token is coming quite soon, like within 3-4 months. But the first airdrop is complete. So I would say if you're interested in StarkNet, pay attention to this date. You can maybe trade it when it comes out. And because they have said that they will be allocating a lot more tokens later on, which means once the early airdrop participants receive their tokens and mainnet comes online, there probably will be high yield farming opportunities to get more StarkNet token when you can start using it. So that's what I would say, and that's why I put it in honorable mentions today. Okay. Let's see how many more. Yeah, one more honorable mention that I want to give you guys is EigenLayer. So EigenLayer is a very strong liquid staking protocol. I have covered it in our portfolio video that I just dropped today as well. So this is one of the most hyped up new innovations in the Ethereum ecosystem. Essentially, they invented this concept of restaking, which means you can stake your Ethereum and have that staking reward, but at the same time use this staking power to secure other layer 2 protocols or other smart contract protocols deployed on Ethereum. So that's what EigenLayer does. Completely novel use case. I think if you want to get the EigenLayer token airdrop, first of all, like EigenLayer token, most likely there will be one because it's a very decentralized setup. It's a completely like DAO governed, very similar to how Lido works. So how to get the EigenLayer token is actually very easy. Just go on EigenLayer socials, right? Use their app to stake your Ethereum. Very simple, one step. However, because their staking is uncapped, so I think you can only get very good rewards if you stake a large amount. So you see here in the staking pools on the right side here, there are already 17 million in Rocket Pool ETH, 79 million in Lido staked ETH, and 19 million in Coinbase staked ETH. So you have to stake a ton of Ethereum in order to get decent rewards. And that's why I put it in honorable mentions. EigenLayer token most likely will be one. You most likely will get it as long as you stake. However, in order to get high rewards, you need to have a lot of money. That's why I want to mention it, because it's a good opportunity, but just you need to stake a lot of Ethereum. Okay, that's honorable mention as well. And I did have another... I wanted to touch really briefly on the Solana airdrop crates, right? So I know there probably like already has been discussion in the chat. We'll get into it, but all the hype right now is about Solana airdrops, right? Because a few weeks ago, we had the Pith airdrop, right? Where it launched at $4.5 billion valuation FDV, super crazy. And then again, we had the Jito airdrop launched at $4.2 billion. Hugely crazy, right? So now everyone is like excited. Oh, what's the next big Solana airdrop, right? So I think another good one is Jupiter. So this is already, there's a secondary market to speculate on this. And you see this is trading at 60 cents for Jupe token. And the Jupe token supply is going to be 1 billion, which means this is already trading at $600 million valuation as people speculate. There's probably still upside on this. However, big caveat, right? Most of these Solana ecosystem airdrops are, in my opinion, too late, right? We're talking about like coins launching at 4.5 billion at listing, right? And Pith is like okay, you know, you guys know my opinion. I think comparing Pyth to Chainlink, Pyth is already half the valuation of Chainlink, but I really don't think it's at the same caliber yet. So I think this is a little bit overvalued. Let's just say that. And for Jito, well, this is, I would tell you it's super overvalued because fully diluted valuation, $4.2 billion, right? But when you consider what Jito is, it's a liquid staking protocol. It's an LSD protocol. So the main metric for evaluating an LSD protocol is just how much staking it has, right? Because it's liquid staking. So when you compare Jito to the other top liquid staking protocols, you see here, Jito has $477 million of money staked in there, versus things like Rocket Pool, 2.7 billion staked, and Lido, 21 billion staked. But when you compare Jito's valuation to that of Rocket Pool, you see Rocket Pool fully diluted valuation 600 million, right? When it has like 4 times as much stake. And when you consider the number one staking protocol by far, Lido, right? Lido is only at 2.3 billion, while Jito is at 4.2 billion. That just makes no sense to me, right? So Lido has $21 million staked versus Jito has 21 billion versus 400 million. So in my opinion, this airdrop Craze in Solana is totally unsustainable. It's way too overvalued, these launches. And this is very apparent. So I would say, you know, honorable mention in the Solana ecosystem if you really know what you're doing and you really think you have a few like airdrops that you can still maybe qualify for within next month. Sure, go for it. But I would highly recommend, like, think about getting into these airdropped new tokens in this Craze, because it's getting very late in the rotation. So I think that's my honorable mention. You know, the only two that are still very established I'm watching is like Jupiter and Wormhole. That's about it. When you get into even the lower tier type of airdrops, those become way less worthwhile now. I think you guys know my stance on how I like to play the markets. When one ecosystem and one kind of narrative becomes way too overhyped, you want to rotate to the other ones in a similar narrative, because all people talk about in airdrops today is like these overvalued coins on Solana. I think the opportunity right now is to rotate a bit earlier and go to the actually very established projects that will have airdrop in 2 to 3 months. And that's why I have covered the projects we have today. Rotate to the other ones that you know are still in the airdrop narrative, but most people are still undervaluing versus the current super hyped up ones that are a bit overvalued. So I think that's what the opportunity really lies in the next few months with airdrops. Again, make sure to 3 things. Number 1, subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in the full airdrop tutorials, I'm going to drop them very soon on the channel in the next few weeks, maybe 1 month or so, for the top projects we have mentioned. And secondly, make sure to follow me on Twitter or X at virtualbacon0x right here. This is where I drop quick alpha before I do these in-depth videos. And last but not least, make sure to join our Discord with the link in the description, discord.gg/virtualbacon. This is where we have our free daily analysis on Bitcoin, on altcoins for trade setups, and also once we do these airdrop videos and for GRVT, for example, we have the private, you know, whitelisted early invite. I'm going to drop them in our community first. So definitely join our Discord. It's all free, and join the discussion. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys for joining, and I will see you guys on the next video and next live stream. Cheers. Bye-bye.